This will destroy you. Ephesians 4 verse 31. Get rid of all bitterness, rage and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. In a fractured world, we find that we all experience hurt of various kinds. It is inevitable that at some point in our interactions with others, we will have a cause, even just cause, to be angry. The truth is that all bitterness stems from hurt. Our emotional pain comes from the seat for bitterness and will kindle our wrath or malicious intent towards the perpetrators. Sometimes we are taken advantage of and are well within our right to be angry, but we must be swift and prudent in dealing with this anger. The Bible cautions, "Therefore, each of you must put off falsehood and speak truthfully to your neighbor, for we are all members of one body. In your anger, do not sin." Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry, and do not give the devil a foothold. Ephesians 4 verses 25 to 27. There are two crucial things to note in verse 27. Left to fester, our anger will lose its righteousness and will lead to sin. Secondly, anger that is not dealt with swiftly will provide enough room for the devil to get a foot in, and we must beware. The danger of giving Satan a foothold is that he will be persistent about tearing, widening, and forcing the space we provide him open until he gets in and destroys our lives. The devil does play fair. He is relentlessly trying to get into our heart so that he can kill our faith, steal our joy, and destroy every semblance of hope and peace. Bitterness gives him a platform to operate from. We must ensure that we do not allow them too much time to pass while our anger lingers in our hearts. Although anger can be justified, Paul is still telling us to rid our hearts of it. Hurt and anger will breed bitterness, but bitterness gives space for the perpetuation of these things. Looking at the text in Ephesians 4, we will see that the other vices that Paul lists are direct results of bitterness. When we harbor bitterness in our hearts, it becomes a breeding ground for the vices listed. In essence, these are characteristics of bitterness that destroy us from within. Bitterness produces rage. This is a flaring of the temper. It's the primary brewing of our passions negatively towards someone. It brings commotion to our blood and spirits, causing our heart to race and our inner man to be vexed. It is here that we get the idiom, "My blood is boiling," from. Stephen Diamond, PhD, defines bitterness as a chronic and pervasive state of smoldering resentment, and regards it as one of the most destructive and toxic of human emotions. If we allow bitterness, it will keep us in a state of prolonged rage. That rage eventually brews and turns into anger, a greater height and paroxysm of the same passion or an eager desire of revenge. Matthew Poole commentary. This is more than just the initial wound we experience. Because it lingers beyond a reasonable time, we begin to plot and scheme and even descend into hate. There is nothing creative about these things. We must be earnest in dealing with our bitterness. It is not an animal to tame, but it must be mortified with all the other deeds of the flesh. If we do not do that, it will begin to affect our speech. Colossians 4 verse 6 encourages, "Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone." Bitterness produces everything that militates against this in our speech. We will begin to enter the purgatorial behaviors of brawling and slander. It is not just our nose that flares from the anger that we have inside us, but we begin to show our disdain and inner boiling through vulgarity and loudness. We will eventually spiral into evil thinking. These are destructive and must be dealt with swiftly. Instead of building up the community of faith, we demolish all that it stands for. We will direct these words even to God, but certainly, here in our verse, Paul is speaking about it being directed to men. This is designated to acts such as railing, reviling, reproaching, and the ordinary effects of immoderate anger. We should not have these things in our lives, and remember that all of this can be as a result of something that started from a righteous cause for anger. We were innocent. We were the ones wronged. But the mistake we made is to allow the anger to fester. If we do not deal with our hurts and anger, we will find ourselves living among the spiritually dead, and the sad thing is that it often happens unnoticed. Paul continues to beseech, if not command us, to deal with every malignity in our lives, all forms of malice. These are works of the flesh that militate after the fruit of the Spirit in our lives. Galatians 5, verses 22 to 23, reminds us that the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. The things I just mentioned rapidly degrade self-control. It works against everything prudent and pure. When malignity is in our hearts, we will not be loving, peaceable, joyful, patient, kind, good, faithful, or gentle towards others. The way out of bitterness is a sincere move to forgive those who have wronged us. There is no other cure. Forgiveness alone enables us to unburden ourselves of the weight of wrath, anger, clamor, evil speech, and malice. It empowers us to let go of grievances, grudges, rancor, and resentment. Jesus Christ places it as a vital tool in the belt of the redeemed. In a discourse with the disciples, Jesus outlined for them a systematic way to deal with wounds. After this outline, Peter asked, "Lord, how often will my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? As many as 7 times?" Matthew 18, verse 21. This is a question that many of us are asking in our hearts. Jesus answered, "I do not say to you 7 times, but 77 times. The answer took Peter beyond the confinement of numbers and reflects a practice. It is a matter of keep on forgiving. When we do, we are not just freeing those who wronged us, we are freeing ourselves. Forgiveness is the single most potent antidote for the venomous desire for retributive justice poisoning your system. If this impulse hasn't infested you physically, it's at least afflicted you mentally and emotionally. Learning to forgive your violator facilitates your recovering from a wound that, while it may have originated from outside yourself, has been kept alive from the venom you've synthesized within you. PsychologyToday.com. Why would we choose to hold on to something designed to destroy us? Bitterness doesn't vindicate us. It plays into Satan's mission in our lives. The foothold we give him through bitterness will make sure that the devil's mandate to steal and kill and destroy is perfectly worked out in our hearts and lives. We must move to mend those areas that are already broken down in our hearts because of this bitterness. I implore you to alter your mindset and attitude to release the locks from the cells that hold us in bondage. Bitterness is the inherent facilitator and perpetual slavery in our hearts. We must be willing to shift our focus, and though not easy, see the wrongdoer in a new light. We must see them as free as well. Some will seek opportunities to right the wrongs they committed, but others will not. Even those who do not apologize or seek forgiveness must be forgiven.